I'm gonna assume it's videoing. Okay, so normally, like, it is kind of an interview, but this time it's not gonna be an interview. It's kind of me discussing, like, a plan with you. So this is for my, can y'all hear me? Can y'all hear me? Okay. So this is for my sociology of death and dying class. So, yeah, it's a really cool class, but for this assignment, I had to basically get in the mindset of I was just diagnosed with a terminal illness and I have 6 months left to live. And I had to come up with a plan. How do I want to spend those next 6 months? But within the last 3 months of that, I lose my ability to walk, talk, and then move. So I kind of wrote up my plan, and the assignment is to discuss it with y'all, and y'all kind of tell me what you would change for it, or if you would change anything, what you think of it, if you suggest adding anything, removing anything, kind of just have a conversation about it. And so in mine, I explained why I wanted to talk to you, Wendy, and then Matt, obviously, y'all are a unit, and so when I tell you, it obviously applies to Matt. So for my plan, I basically meant that if I was told today that I had 6 months left to live, immediately I would drop out of school. I would not waste any more time with school. I mean, even though I have, like, 6 months basically left, there's no point in me finishing my degree whenever I could be living other things. So I kind of start out saying who I would tell, and I have in my hierarchy of, like, death notification or, like, terminal illness, Wendy, you're my first person that would know, just because we tell each other everything. I mean, it's kind of just how it works. Like, I would tell you before I would tell mom or dad.
Yeah.
And then obviously with telling you, Matt would obviously be the first to know as well. Like, you two are a unit. I would tell y'all just because I put in here that, like, my sister is my support system and, like, would give me the strength to be able to tell. So I have that I would tell you, Matt, obviously. And then I would go on to tell mom, dad, and Brittany. And then grandparents. And then my close friends. And other than that, I'm not going to make an effort to tell anyone just because if they find out, they find out, but who I want to know is going to find out. And so I would obviously tell y'all pretty soon into my diagnosis. Like, let's say I was diagnosed today, you would probably know today. And then I have that, since I have 3 months of full mobility being myself, I would get my sister, Matt, mom, dad, Brittany, to plan a trip to Scotland and Ireland because those are the 2 places that I want to go. In that, I did say that I would wait until maybe my second, like, a month or 2 from now, just so we have time to prep, save up finances. In here, I literally put I would apply for as many credit cards as I could because I'm going to die anyways. I don't care. Just because who freaking cares at that point? I'm going to die. But I had that, like, y'all would be on the trip with me because y'all are the people that I would want surrounded with me experiencing that trip. Like, I wouldn't want to do it alone. I'd want to be with my family, and I want it to be you guys. Obviously, like, it'd be great to have the grandparents, but they'd slow us down. We wouldn't be able to live the best life, go to the bars, live it up. I mean, obviously you can't, Wendy, because you're pregnant. But then after that, I said that my trip would kind of be my last hoorah. After that, I'd probably move back home. Have end-of-life care be with me. I did put in my essay that after my 3 months of being myself, that normally I would probably want to look into medically assisted suicide just because I don't want to spend 3 months not being able to walk, talk, breathe, move. However, I did not say that would be what I would do in this exact situation because meeting my little family, I'm not gonna accidentally say it. So your child, that kind of 6 months would line up to where I would get to meet your child, and that kind of changes how I would want it to be. Just because that's kind of that would be my last wish is like I get to meet my new relative. So I have that in here that changes everything for me, and that since I would spend my last months at home, I'd get to be with you, experiencing that in some kind of capability. And then I did put for my last few weeks that I ask my friends, my family to come see me, get my final goodbyes in while I can talk. And that for my final, like the literal final week or so, while I'm not able to really talk, move, or anything, that I would ask for you two, mom, dad, and Brittany to be by my side and have One Tree Hill playing for one final time. Just because. And that's kind of my plan. What are your thoughts?
I mean, I definitely feel like I feel kind of the same way, and like I definitely would drop out of school and yeah, travel. Just travel, see as much as the world you can while you still can, and spending as much time with family as you can. I agree with that 100%. And like I'm someone who would want to do as much as I can while I'm still able to, and then after that consider like the assisted suicide. But also, if like the roles were flipped, I would want to stick around as long as I could to meet the new little one or whatever. So I pretty much like agree with what your plan pretty much. I think for me, I think I'd be pretty private about it, make an exit. And people like, what happened? Oh, she died.
Oh, she's gone. She's dead.
Yeah, she died. Where was her funeral? Oh, it was select. But yeah, I agree. Like, you know, you would probably be the first person to know if I had a terminal illness other than that. So, yeah, I pretty much agree with your thought process as far as that goes.
For me personally, would you add anything? Is there anything that you think that I need to do or add into it for me?
I would definitely, it's always smart to draw up like a will. Especially when there are inheritances you're going to receive. And if you're gone, just making a note of where you want things to go and delegating certain people to handle certain things like about your care and stuff like that before you can't voice anything. So like mom technically would be like your medical power of attorney. If you're like if it was now and you're not married, she would be like your medical power of attorney, her and dad. But you would have the option to change that if you wanted to for any reason to make sure that, you know, your wishes are going to be followed and basically have that written out. It's the only thing I think I would add.
Okay. Matt, what are your thoughts?
It's hard to think about.
I definitely agree with the assisted suicide, medical suicide thing. Based off the fact that I've gone through a similar situation where I've had a loved one who was given a very short amount of time, and having to watch them deteriorate, and it would have saved a lot of the heartbreak if it would have been easier.
Pregnant one, I'm not pregnant.
Hey, no, like my professor literally stated that like this was gonna be a harder conversation to have.
It is.
But like,
I think it's hard to think about because anything could happen. You know, like with all the genetic testing I just did, I could have found out that I had this life-altering potential disorder and pass it down to a child, and like that was really kind of weird to think about. And we do have cancer that runs in our family and ALS, and so it is definitely something that nobody wants to think about, but it's a good thing to kind of not like hardcore discuss, but like have that topic out there because anything could happen.
No, that's why I really do like this class, because like obviously I've never thought about putting myself in this situation before, and he was like, be honest with yourself, like what are you gonna do? And I was literally like, apply for as many credit cards as I want, I'm gonna die, I don't care, not my problem. You know, but it's also like
you know, I think living your life, like I mean 3 months is in retrospect is not a lot of time, so doing whatever you can do and living your life to the fullest before you can, I think is just so important, and experience things, like make it like a bucket list almost, like a last ditch effort for a bucket list, and just like traveling somewhere you always want to travel to, eating a new cuisine, like
Mm-hmm.
going to a concert you've always wanted to go to, like doing those things. So, and not by yourself unless you want to, but like enough to just have those memories for yourself. But also, we're very family oriented people, so
Mm-hmm.
creating those last really good memories with your family, I think, is also important, because that's something that we would hold on to
Mm-hmm.
after you're gone, kind of thing.
Yeah, that's why I was like, on the trip, I want my sister, Matt, Dad, Mom, and Brittany, just because that's
there's no
like
way to go.
my people. Yeah, and I was just like, Scotland's at the top of all of our bucket lists.
Yeah, we all want to go there.
Literally. But that's why I put that location. Obviously, in here I have, like, I want to party it up. Like, I'm not going to be 21 yet, but, like, if I go to a bouncer, be like, yo, I'm dying in 6 months. Get me a drink, man.
Yeah.
Like, they're
I
gonna.
think it's like,
They're gonna. But, yeah. So that's pretty much, like, all the assignment was just, I had to read you through my plan and kind of get y'all's thoughts. Like, if you would add anything, why or why not. What you think of it. So, I appreciate y'all sharing your thoughts with
me. And
me.
like I said, the only thing I would say is just having, like, I don't know if it's necessarily called a will.
It would be a final will and testament.
Just setting out legally
Mm-hmm.
how you want to be cared for, who you want to care for you, what you want to be done in the event of, and where you want, certain things of yours to go.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you could find out after you've got your Aggie ring ordered. Like, where would you want that to go?
You have to think about your final wishes as well.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to be cremated or if you want to be buried.
And things like that. Like not necessarily setting your own funeral, but like if you want a funeral, if you want just a party.
So actually, in this class, I get to create my death portfolio, which is going to include my hierarchy of notification, who knows first, my living will, my death wishes, my funeral wishes. I get to plan all of that out. And so I have to share that with family members, so you'll probably be one that I share it with. Sorry guys, y'all are a unit, you get stuck with that. But it's a cool assignment. Like, this class really puts different thoughts into perspectives about death. And even today in class, we were talking about, like, infant mortality, and that was horrifying. I was like, Wendy, read my notes.
Yeah, so I like that this class is making you think. They're dark things to think about, but they're important things to think about in the event of.
Mm-hmm. I'm also thankful,
I think it's kind of cool that.
Yeah, I have family who I can talk about this stuff with. It's not like we don't talk about death. Like, we're very open about conversations with death. And so.
Yeah, we really are.
Just a little.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's pretty much all. I will go ahead and end the video now. Thank y'all.